everybody, it's the Muscle Barbie Nikita, and you're watching the Johnny I Pro Show.
I have here in studio Nikita, Muscle Barbie, professional wrestler. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Of course, now it's an honor to have you here. Now, I gotta ask right away off the bat, what got you into wrestling?
Okay, so this story goes way back. I was 8 years old. So I immigrated here with my parents from Ukraine. So when I was a kid, we didn't have wrestling in Ukraine. It's just not a thing. So I came here, and my dad's a huge fan of like boxing, sports, etc. So he was kind of flipping through the channels looking for what do they have here, and he found pro wrestling. So one day he was kind of like, "Oh, Jane, come sit down. Like, come take a look at what we're seeing here." And I kind of looked, and I was like, what is that, right? Like, I've never seen that before. Like, I've seen boxing, but, like, you see these people flying around, and I was like, I wasn't sure if I liked it or not.
Of course.
But my dad would call me over, like, every Thursday, every Monday, whatever it was back then. He would just be like, oh, come watch. So I'd come watch because my dad was watching.
Of course.
And, like, I think by the second or third episode, I was just hooked. Like,
It's an addiction. It was like an addiction.
Yeah, like, I was like, I do like this. And so it was just one of those, like, I never looked back since, and it became a huge obsession of mine. And yeah, and then to my dad's, like, he wasn't happy because, you know, if I'm wrestling.
Of course.
Yeah.
What was your whole now inspiration becoming a wrestler? Is there like a certain wrestler or something that just gave you that spark?
You know what? I don't know if there was one wrestler. Like, the one thing I will say, this is kind of typical of people, but like The Rock, I saw one of his promos, and again, I was like 8 or 9, and I saw the promo, and I was like, oh my god, like, that guy is so good.
Electrifying.
It was literally electrifying. Like, you watch a promo and you're hooked into what he's saying. So I was like, he's so cool, and like, just seeing that, I was like, I want to be like that. Like, I want to be that cool.
Of
so,
course.
like, he kind of got me into thinking that. But just seeing everyone out there, I fell in love with the sport of it itself. And I was like, I want to be out there. I want to be doing what they're doing. You know, and like, at that time, like, the women weren't really doing as much of that. Yeah. But I was just like, I want to be a woman who's doing that.
Huge congrats to you. I also heard 2023 PWI Top 250.
Yes.
Yes, number 130. That's huge. That's
I know,
huge.
yeah.
So what does that mean to you, like, just being right in there with the best?
You know what, it's crazy because I've always hoped to be listed somewhere on there. You know, like, everyone wants to get listed. Everyone's waiting for the PWI list to come out. So when I heard about the 250, I'm like, oh, I hope I'm somewhere in there, like maybe like 249 or something.
Yeah. But 130, that's amazing.
Yeah, like, I looked and I was like, wow, like, I'm really up there with people. Like, it's really an honor. It's cool to know that people out there are kind of seeing that, you know, I'm putting in the work.
Of course.
I'm doing as much as I can with it, and it's cool to get the recognition and to see people being like, yeah, she's working hard, and like, to rank me so high. Like,
it's amazing.
I would have never expected that.
You see right there, you said as well, hard work, like all that hard work and dedication. Like, people don't really see what goes behind the scenes. They just come to the match, just judge on that, like any sport. But that just shows there all that hard work and dedication.
Absolutely, and I don't know if people know a lot about my backstory, but I took a 10-year hiatus from pro wrestling, and I just came back last year.
And you're still on top.
Yeah, so it was one of those where I was like, I put in so much work into that last year. It was like, there were months where I was wrestling like 8 shows a month, and I was just taking bookings. It was like, I'm in Detroit one day, and then 3 days later, I'm like in Nova Scotia, and then I'm back here. And it's like, it's so tiring, but I put in so much work, and I'm so happy that at least people out there are enjoying it.
Recognizing, yeah, and they're loving it for sure. How about your most memorable match to date? Is there like just something like that was just your favorite match? I know obviously you your Smash Championship that you won.
Yes.
Before that probably has to be a top one for sure there.
Yep.
And then your Ring of Honor, was it in July?
Yes.
With Athena? Yeah, so that was as well a big one there. So, but in your words, now, like, what was your favorite memorable match to date?
So, you know what? Those two are fantastic. I love those, but my favorite match that I've had recently would be one from Greektown. It was me versus Sleazia Sparks versus Miley. It was a triple threat.
Okay, yes.
And I think that's probably some of the most fun I've had in a long time, because there's just so much we were able to do with the 3 of us, and like, I do the cell phone gimmick, and like, the stuff we came up with, like, I look back on that match and I'm like, it's funny, like, it's different. We all had a lot of fun, and it was just so creative, and it was a little bit different than like a singles match that you do like that, right? So I think it was probably my favorite match to date. Obviously, like, the big opportunities, the Athena match I can't be more grateful for that. That was super cool.
Yes. Going
out there for Ring of Honor, like, hearing the fans, and then my first match back against Rosemary or Courtney Rush. Like, so we used to wrestle back before she made it to Impact, so she was from here as well. So we go way back, and it was really cool to have my first match. Yeah, and I was like, you know what, I'm so glad my first match back was with her, because like, we've always had good chemistry, we've had great matches. So definitely those are, it's hard to choose just one, but in terms of like fun factor, it was definitely that triple threat.
What do you see yourself in like accomplishing in like the next 5-10 years in wrestling?
So I really hope within the next 5-10 years, especially within the next couple years, I mentioned that I want to go to Japan. I do want to expand myself out to Europe as well. I'm hoping to try to do something like Germany, UK, kind of go out there and really explore the world. Yeah, like I'd love to obviously continue doing stuff for Ring of Honor or AEW or Impact. But I think for me, the biggest thing would be just go see other countries and really expand my wrestling resume that way, because there's a lot you can learn here, but it's just a completely different world where you go somewhere else.
Like your top 3 wrestlers growing up that were your favorites.
Okay.
Like just inspired you, just in general. Who are those 3?
So Chris Jericho.
Jericho, okay.
Yeah, AJ Styles, and definitely The Rock would be the biggest inspiration.
Okay, so you got like TNA, you got WCW, you got everybody there. Basically.
I do, yes.
I guess, so now, who is the greatest diva of all time in your eyes?
I definitely think for her time it was Trish. I think if we have to pick a woman right now in today's day, I will say Charlotte is up there.
Charlotte Flair, yes, exactly. Yes. What is she, like 13-time champion or something?
Yeah, 100%.
Pretty sure she could beat her dad. I'm pretty.
Oh
I
yeah,
hope so.
and you know what? Like, love Ric Flair, but Charlotte I think has surpassed him in a lot of different pinnacles in wrestling.
For sure. It's all said and done. What do you want the fans to remember Nikita as?
I just want them to remember Nikita as one of the most entertaining females they've seen. Just someone who's bringing something different to the table, and someone where they're like, wow, that girl is memorable.
Wisdom to like just anybody in general that want to go and approach wrestling.
Absolutely. Like I said, you get in or you get what you give, so always give 110%. You are the product, so you got to put into you. If you don't put into you, no one else is going to put into you. So do the work, do anything and everything you got to do, and that's what's going to set you apart.
Guys, that's it right there. The Muscle Barbie is in studio. Nikita, I can't thank you enough so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Guys, go follow her socials, all that good stuff.